Hey, brown babes. Akila here. Just wanted to let you know that this week's episode is going to be a favorite. We call these the classic, well, honestly, episodes. It is a repeat, but I think it's chock full of information for you all to absorb again. We will see you in new episodes in the future. Bye.
Hey, brown beauties. Welcome to Well, Honestly, the podcast. I'm Andretta.
And I'm Akila, and we're your hosts. Well, honestly, what is this podcast all about?
Our show is about women doing better tomorrow than they are doing today, so we can take control of our health. We give you real talk and educate you on all things related to health, mental wellness, and nutrition for brown women all over the world. Once you know what choices you have, you can do better, because we know the struggle is real.
We invite you to come as you are, but leave inspired to become your best, healthy self. So let's get started.
Hey there. Hey, Keela.
Hey, Andretta.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good. We're not going to talk about what it's like, the weather is like where you live, and we're not going to talk about what the weather is like where I live, because I'm sure that they are totally different.
It sounds to me like you might be a little mad, just a bit.
We got snow on the ground. I'm sure you're looking at something different.
It's a beautiful 73 degrees and overcast.
All right, you're going to tell us anyway. In case you guys don't know, Akila is in Houston, Texas, and I am in Chicago, Illinois, 2 worlds apart.
Yeah, I'm trying to convince her to get on out here to Texas because we've had enough of the cold and we just had enough of Chicago, period. So,
well, I am putting some things in motion. Who knows? So let's talk a little bit about what this episode is going to be about. By the way, we're in episode 10. Can you believe that?
We've been consistent for 10 episodes. Give yourself a pat on the back, Andretta.
We did with the help of Brian. Thank God for Brian. Yes. Also, we got some interesting news this week, and both Keela and I were looking at the where we were ranking, and Listen Notes is one of the guess what you call it, a website that they kind of rank podcasts, and they put us in the top 10%, and we were like, both of us were like, wait. And then they said out of 1.9 million podcasts, we were in the top 10%.
In our category.
Yeah, in our category. And we only did 7 episodes. So, Keela, let's give all of us a pat on the back. Brian, yourself, and me. Yay! Okay.
I looked at that. I just stumbled across it. And I said, wait a minute. This can't be right. Like, what? And after further review, I said, well, I'll be doggone.
We also got to thank Jessica. We must thank Jessica LaShawn, too, because...
Yeah, our brand manager.
Yeah, that's our brand manager. She has really stepped up and made sure that we get a good ranking. So you guys, and also we want to thank you listeners. Keep listening. Keep inviting please invite your friends to listen to us and your family and whomever, because we always dishing out some good information. Because today, guess what we're going to talk about? We're going to talk about sleep, anxiety, and stress.
Yep.
So
the big three.
The big three.
Everybody's struggling with.
Yeah, because it's important, because all 3 of those items keep our immune system functioning. So we all know right now, keeping that immune system strong is very, very important. So getting some sleep and trying to manage our stress and anxiety is important. So, and I'll tell you something else we're going to do. We're going to have a real story from one of our Facebook group members. She's got a story to tell about how she overcame her stress and anxiety. So later on in this episode, we'll get a chance to talk to Terry Anderson. So we kind of look forward to that. So what we're going to do, we're going to come right back. We're going to take a quick break and then we got a new little segment here called the Mindset Moment. We're going to talk a little bit about mindset when we come back. We'll be right back. Are you tired of being tired? Are you aching, have pain in unexplained places? At the root of all diseases like diabetes and high blood pressure and many more is chronic inflammation. There are 10 wild-crafted organic hand-picked herbs in the Be Well anti-inflammation tea that will help calm those flames. Go to brownwomenwellness.com and get 15% off by putting in the code WellHonest15.
All right. So mindset moment is really important to me and to Andretta, but really, really, really important to me because it's shifted. Once I shifted my mind, I shifted my life. So today's mindset moment, this quote comes from Florence Shin, and she wrote the book. What is it? How to
game
Play
of
the
life.
Game to Win.
No, it's a game of life and how to play it.
All wrong, but yes, she wrote that. But we talked about that in the last episode.
We did. We talk about it a lot because that's one of my favorite books.
We are. Yeah, it's a good book. So here's the quote. It says, "If you do not run your subconscious mind yourself, someone else will run it for you." Let me repeat that back. If you do not run your subconscious mind yourself, someone else will run it for you.
Wow.
That's pretty powerful.
Yeah, that's pretty powerful because most people don't think about the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is really more powerful than what comes out of our mouth. So we'll speak one thing, but we may think another. So what this really says is your thoughts are more powerful than what you actually say.
Yes.
So you think about it. If you don't run your subconscious mind yourself, that means someone else is running it for you. So we have to control what we think. So
it's important.
Yeah. So and you know what? That takes practice. It's easier said than done.
That's the key. That's the key. I thought that once I understood something, then that was that. I got it. But no, it's about understanding and then the practice of that understanding, which really takes it over to the next level. Because I knew all of this stuff younger, like in my 20s, about law of attraction and positive mindset and thinking. Like, it all makes sense. But it's one thing to know and another thing to do. So you have to practice daily, small little things to shift your mindset. Sometimes, and I actually, you know what? I'm going to save that because that is my little tip for the week. So I'll save that. But go ahead, Andrea.
Okay. So anyway, she had one that she put in a little quote. She said, if you send out only good to your fellow man who is without fear, cannot be touched or influenced by the negative thoughts of others. So translation, send out good thoughts so that you can't be influenced by negative thoughts, pretty much. So like I said, it's easier said than done. And Keila, you hit it the nail right on the head. You definitely need to practice it. So let's jump right into one of the first things that we have to control. And actually this mindset is part of controlling this, and it's stress.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, the stress is at home, it's at work. We got these endless to-do lists. Don't forget, we want to be super Black women, right? We run these capes, and we always constantly we're multitasking all the time, and for the sake of our own well-being. So, we really gotta, we burn out and we don't even realize that we're burned out. And did you know being burned out is a legitimate medical condition?
Yeah, absolutely. And the crazy part about burnout is that it's almost like when they say I'm running on fumes, you can actually, some call be productive during a burnout moment or burnout moments and not realize it until like the actual, like, it's not the burnout, it's the out. Like you're done. And you don't realize you've gotten to that point until it's too late and you're facing medical issues and exhaustion and all that. But it's a slow burn to the burnout. And a lot of us operate in that space. And I really want us to get out of that. It's easier said than done because, again, going back to mindset, if you've trained your mind and trained your way of thinking and doing to be one way over time, that becomes the reality of the situation. And so to change that reality, it takes a whole band to put together the sound of change. So I want us to take baby steps out of burnout because it is very, very real. And I blame society for a lot of that burnout because we live in a world where if you're not productive, if you're not having a 401k started by with $1,000 every month in it, if you're not on Clubhouse, TikTok, Instagram, if you're not investing into GameStop investments, if you're not doing all these things, then you're not living your life right. And that's not true. It's too many standards put on us, which causes undue stress. And we take it in subconsciously so that our outward actions start to reflect that. We got to change that.
Yeah, it's we dependent on technology, social media, we overcommit, we don't show up for ourselves. We find ourselves tired and flat, fatigued, and it leads us to cynicism too, detachment. We just the fear of leading to burnout is also another fear, So let's talk about a few ways how we can reduce some of that stress.
Yes. The first thing is to schedule your free time. And I know that, a lot of people schedule your free time. What does that mean? Like, what? No. You have to consciously make an effort, just like you consciously make an effort to get up and go to work. You make a conscious effort to take care of yourself and your kids or whatever you have to do to cook and clean. You need to make a conscious effort to do absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I had to put that on my calendar, believe it or not. If I had to put free time on my calendar, which is so crazy because if it's not on there, you be on the go all the time. So I had to keep tabs on my own time by actually scheduling free time on my calendar. Another thing.
And free time, by the way, can be whatever you think whatever is good for you. So no one can dictate to you what free time is. If you get joy and your mind shuts down out of doing laundry, do it. If free time for you is sitting there or having a dance session, listening to music and drinking a glass of wine, do it. If free time is not answering the phone when you know somebody's calling you and you need to do X, Y, Z, but you just need a moment, that's free time. Don't let anybody dictate what free time is. You allow that to be what it is for you.
Good tips, Keila. Good tips. One of the things, another way we can manage stress, and we talk about this a lot, is meditation. Yeah. So, I was one of those people, I didn't think I could sit still for 10 minutes and meditate. I was one of those people going, what? Sit still? Because my mind is always busy. So that was another thing that took practice, learning how to meditate, sitting still for 10 minutes. And I'm not going to lie, I needed help. I use an app. I use that Insight meditation app. Insight Timer. Yeah, that helps me a lot because in the morning, before my feet hit that ground, I put my headphones in and I turn on about a 10-minute meditation. And that has really starts my day off the right way. So, hey.
It also goes to the subconscious mind. See, everything wraps back around. The beauty about meditation is that even when you think you're not, quote unquote, doing it right, you're doing something on a subconscious level for your brain. So it all wraps back around. And again, just like with retraining the subconscious mind, meditation takes practice and you're doing a 2-for-1. You're retraining your subconscious mind to be still. And then you're also giving yourself a self-care practice and just what? Having some free time to do what? Nothing.
Yeah, so it all kind of ties in together. The other thing is that morning and nighttime routine. We talked about this also before, having a routine in the morning. A lot of people just jump out of their beds in the morning and just go, right? Take their showers, drink their coffee, and they're off running. Sometimes what you need to do to keep yourself from getting burned out from stress and anxiety is to set up some type of morning routine and a nighttime routine, because a nighttime routine will help you sleep better. So you need both.
I have a good morning routine, but I'm working on that nighttime routine. That's a struggle for me, honestly.
Yeah, the wind down. It's because you're probably trying to wind down. And one of the things that and everybody got a different routine. So what what works for one person may not work for another person. And you do have to find that right routine for yourself. But one of the things I do know about the nighttime part, you got to turn off everything. I mean, there was a time I had a roommate once who slept with the television on, and she would sleep with the news on. And, and it was in her subconscious. So I was telling her, I said, you're listening to all that bad stuff, and it's in your subconscious, but she told me she couldn't sleep without it. That was because she had made it had become something she had to do. So it took us a long time because she was my roommate. We were in the same room. This is college. And so I can't sleep with the TV on. She could sleep with the TV on. So it gradually, we had to figure out a happy medium. And back then, and when I was in college, we didn't have headphones like you guys got now. Okay. But.
Did y'all even have headphones?
No, we're not going to talk about that. But yeah, I mean, this is back in the day. But, so anyway, sleeping with your with all those blue lights that are blinking, you have blue lights from your phone, maybe from your television, from your iPad, sleeping with the TV glaring, all of that, the noise. You really have to. So again, you can meditate at night too. You can meditate before you go to sleep, and that'll put you in a deep sleep. They have sleeping meditations.
Let me give a tip. Because I'm that person where I'm twofold. I can sleep in the dark with nothing going, but sometimes I can't. So I go back and forth, right? But what I found is exactly what you just said, Andretta, is that sleeping with certain things on and you wake up and you either see it, or if your phone or your whatever you're sleeping with goes out, you don't even realize what your brain was just absorbing. So I have a tip. If you're one of those people who you can't sleep with just pitch black darkness and nothing is on, so turn on YouTube, go to a meditation or a music frequency channel. Just type in meditation for sleep, type in deep sleep affirmations, type in music frequency for calm, whatever. Just type in those words. A slew of things are going to come up. And these channels, they'll have these videos that run like 10 hours straight. And it's basically just meditations of calm Zen music that you can fall asleep to, because music has a frequency. We talked about this before. Everything has a frequency, but music definitely has a frequency. And if you just put that on, don't put it on super high, just put it on, you will be gone to sleep in less than like probably 15 to 20 minutes and won't even realize it. And that will still be playing in the background while you sleep. But guess what you're doing? Again, you're programming your subconscious mind to the frequency of peace.
Let me tell you a little story. This actually worked with our dog.
It did.
So we have a dog named Chase. He's a Westie, and he hates thunder and lightning. When thunder and lightning comes, he loses his mind. When I say lose his mind, he runs back and forth and bark to the top until he just can't take it. Thunder and lightning. And I think there's a lot of dogs out there that don't like thunder and lightning. But this dog here, he is over the top. So we tried all kind of things. So one day what I did was I put him in his cage. I put I made it real dark. I put a pillow, a blanket over his cage, and then I turned on YouTube. I found a YouTube channel just for dogs it was a frequency that for them to relax, and it worked.
It did.
He went to sleep. I was like, now, if this worked for a dog, it'll work for a human.
It works. Listen, it works.
I mean,
it works.
Come on now. So I was like, so we need to calm ourselves down. That's the reason a lot of people can't get good sleep, is because their bodies are on a different frequency. They're still up. Your adrenaline is running. Your cortisol levels are high. So you got to relax it. So we're going to talk about, ways to do that too, because I don't want to spend a whole lot of time, too much time on this, because we do have a guest. Brian, how are we looking on time? Okay, cool. So we don't want to spend too much time. We're going to a few more minutes, give you a few more tips. One of them is practicing saying no. Now, how can that help you with stress? Saying no.
Boundaries.
Yes, creating those boundaries.
Set up the boundary. And it's funny because I just said this on Instagram the other day. Follow us at Brown Women Wellness. That no is a complete sentence. You don't got to put something before it, after it. You don't have to explain it. It's just no. And it's tough at first because a lot of times we don't know how to say no without overdoing it and trying to, justify it and take the blow out of it. But we've got to, especially as Black women, we have got to start setting boundaries. And one of those boundaries is, no, I don't want to do this, or no, thank you. Some other time, just nah, don't do it.
Yes. And so that's important because, we got these people pleasers out here and they don't know how to say no. Another good tip is keeping your home office in the home office. A lot of people are working from home. And so working from home, they take their office to bed with them. I'm guilty of that, by the way. I'll sit up with my laptop on in my bed and still answer emails that I didn't answer earlier in the day. And so now I have a new practice. When I get in bed, what I do is I call it dumb TV. I just sit there and watch dumb TV for about a half an hour. I pick a dumb show. You can name, it could be The Real Housewives, one of those shows. I call them dumb shows. Some I don't have to think about. Something I'm just letting them take me away for 30 minutes. And then that kind of brings me down and I focus on work, don't focus on myself. And then from there, I'm trying to get into, I drink a good cup of tea at night too. Did you know that our new tea, Keela, it really works. Did I tell you about that?
I know it does.
Oh my God, we call it do not disturb. Is that right?
Yes, it's a do not disturb CBD infused relaxation tea.
Listen, it has, we actually have real CBD in it. I mean, grown from the earth. We get it from a local farmer. And then it also has chamomile. It has lemon balm, ashwagandha. I think I said that right. Did I say that right? I could mess up a name. So, so anyway, it has like 6 herbs in it. So what I do is I put it in that little steeper and let it sit for about 2 minutes after I boil the hot water. Put it in a cup. I drink that. I'm out like a light. So
that tea works.
By the way, it's on our website. You can go to brownwomenwellness.com and find Do Not Disturb tea. It's a new feature. We haven't really promoted it, but it's there and it does work. So drinking a nice cup of hot tea, if it's chamomile, whatever your choice is, drink you some tea at night. Okay. So let's jump into, because we want to get to our guests and get into a good night's sleep. We kind of gave you guys a few things about, sleep disruptors, but I want to give you those sleep disruptors. Noise. We already talked about that. Noise is a clear sleep disturbance. Okay, even if it's unconscious in the background of people in normal noises such as local traffic or music, it can have a negative impact on some people. We know stress will keep you awake. The other one is alcohol. A lot of people think alcohol will put you to sleep. How many times have you drank a glass of wine? I think 1 glass, you say, okay, I'm fine. 2 glasses, okay. But alcohol will actually wake you up in the middle of the night.
I am a person that happens to, but I will say before that actually used to happen, a glass of wine a night would make me sleepy and I would go to sleep. And I know that there's a lot of women who have that. But you got to be careful about that because the body gets used to what you do on a consistent basis. And then what happens is you do end up having the reverse happen. So instead of that 1 glass or 2 glasses relaxing you, you're actually up now. And you don't even realize, like, why can't I sleep? It's because of the alcohol disrupting your actual circadian rhythm.
Oh my God, I read something the other day and it freaked me out. Okay, so we know we're in the pandemic right now. We're still in it. They said that the alcohol consumption among Black women is up 200%.
You said it's up what?
200%. We're drinking alcohol by the gallons. They particularly targeted Black women. That we're using it as a way. And I think some of it is coming from television because if you notice on all the TV shows now, all these reality shows, what are they doing? They're always drinking. They're always drinking. They do everything over a glass of wine. They do everything over a drink. And so it has really, what has happened is Black women, particularly, they said, is using it as a way to reduce stress, but it's actually working just the opposite because it's easy to go through a whole bottle of wine. I think most people know that before you know it, you've gone through it. If you're a wine drinker, so we talked about that on another show, but yeah, we got to watch that wine consumption. The other thing is nicotine. If you're still smoking, it'll disrupt your sleep. Some people still smoking out there and I bless your hearts because I know how hard that is to give up. We try to pretend like people are not smoking, but we know people are smoking. So, but that withdrawal from nicotine, it can actually disrupt your sleep. And of course, caffeine. If anybody drinking coffee at night before they go to sleep, that's gonna. So, but anyway, we kind of went over some tips. We're gonna take a little moment here and have another break, and we're gonna come back and we're gonna interview Terry Anderson. Terry has a story to share with us about her own health challenges and how she overcame stress and anxiety. So We'll be right back. Feeling stressed? Need to calm your anxiety naturally? Be Well CBD tea can do just that. Hand-picked organic herbs infused with CBD will relax you and calm those nerves. Go to brownwomenwellness.com and get your 15% off. Use this code WellHonest15. Hey, everybody, we're back. And as I promised you, we were bringing on one of our own Facebook group members to share her story. Terry Anderson. Terry Anderson, she worked in advertising sales for over 30 years, and she's a co-founder of a nonprofit organization called Make Mine Raw. In 2019, she lobbied in Springfield for the legislation of the cannabis plant. Wow, Terry. She is currently working in marketing with a very successful female Black-owned cannabis company. She also enjoys coaching on her community on wellness topics, reading, meditation, deep breathing exercises, walking, stretching, yoga, and eating a well-balanced plant diet. I mean, what more could you ask for? So welcome, Terry. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. Thank you so much for having me.
We are... Yeah, this is Akila you're talking to, and I'm on the line, and we are so stoked to have one of our own Brown Women Wellness Facebook group members on the line. So Terry, tell us, we just went over a few things about you, but why don't you tell us some of your struggles or some of your health challenges that got you to where you are now?
Sure, I'll be glad to. Yeah, so I actually been practicing wellness lifestyle for over 30 years, and I had an experience about 3 years ago where one night I woke up and one of my eyes was draining a little bit more liquid than was normal. And I was very concerned about it. And I was the type that didn't really want to go to the doctor because I just don't have a lot of good experiences with them. But I was encouraged by my family members to go. So I decided to go. So when I did make it to the doctor, I found out that I did have a serious eye health issue, and they went through their protocol with me. I'm not going to get into a long story, but final result, they wanted to do steroids, and I wasn't really excited about that. So I decided that I wasn't going to go that route, and I was going to, I had been surrounding myself with a lot of wellness people for the last 30 years, so as well as practicing wellness protocols. So did a lot of things, fasting, eating a plant-based diet, you name it, I tried it, and it would work for a minute, and then the triggers would come back, and that terrible situation I was facing was starting again. So a friend of mine came to me and said to me, I think I may have something for you. In fact, she was a natural doctor, and she's a natural doctor I've been working with for years. And so she introduced me to, I didn't even know what it was. I just said, you know what, how much does it cost? What time do I need to be there? And I was there, and I with the money. And what she presented with me was a vape pen with CBD products in it. But at the time, I had the stigma against cannabis, and I didn't really want to, but at the time I was really so ready to recover from the situation I was facing, the inflammation. And so I started to try to vape. I had never in my life smoked. Maybe I did try marijuana in my younger days, but wasn't for me. So I just wasn't on that page, but I wanted to change, and I wanted to feel better. So I tried it. And to my amazement, it started to work right away, but I didn't believe it because I had tried so many things and it didn't work, or I would feel be back in the same position. But what happened is that at least 45 to 50% of my inflammation reduced. I just felt better. I could feel my energy coming back. And also, what I realized is that I had been experiencing anxiety all of my life and didn't really know how to deal with it, and just felt like it was going to be a part of me forever. So I accepted that, but my anxiety was reduced by 85%, and I had the best night's sleep ever. I was in a REM sleep. So I don't know if you know anything about REM, but it's an amazing sleep. So I was like, oh my God, what did I step into? What is this? And as I
So let me stop you right there, because I want to make sure that our audience are paying attention to this, because you're saying some very important things. Cannabis. So how long ago was this, Terry?
This was in 2017.
So really, you were doing this long while they were still trying to make this legal across the country, and you're in Illinois, correct?
Yeah, I'm in Illinois. Yeah, yeah.
So Illinois is one of those states that it is now legal, but it only became legal when it hasn't been, what, a year? Has it been a year yet?
Well, actually, cannabis hemp from the hemp plant has been legal since 2014. Obama passed that law.
Okay. So it was so let me help me out here. So It was legal when you started taking it. You were able.
Yeah, it was legal. The CBD was legal.
CBD. That's what it is. Okay. When we say cannabis, I got to remember that it's CBD for the audience too.
Yeah.
So it's not, you weren't smoking the actual marijuana. You were doing CBD.
Exactly.
Okay. So, all right. That's good. I want to clear that up. So,
and it's called THC, by the way.
THC is
the component that stimulates the high sensation, and that's separate from what actual hemp is.
So that's what we got to make sure the audience understands too, because a lot of people, when they see hemp or CBD, they're a little skeptical because they're thinking that they're going to get something that's going to make them high. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's what it sounds like from your story, that's what you thought at first too, right?
I did. And in addition, I wasn't a smoker. So I was like, let's set back for a minute.
So let me wrap my head around this again. So time you started, you were doing a vape pipe or something? You were vaping it?
Right. It was a vape. It was called a vape pen.
Okay.
And it was something that you like. It looked like a little mechanical cigarette, but it's not, because it's vaping, and I don't have all the science behind what vaping is. But I just started trying to do what I was instructed to do, and in spite of it, something I was inhaling or I was bringing in, because you don't even have to inhale this. All you got to do is pull it in and let it just stay inside the mouth for a minute, and it absorbs into the cells of the mouth.
Okay, and it worked.
It worked. That was the thing.
Are you still doing it today?
Well, yeah, I do vape now, since I joined the company, and, the company has tinctures, and they have tropicals, and they have, the tinctures I use most of the time. We have water soluble, where you could put it in your coffee, your tea. So we even have it in seasoning. So right now I keep my body, infused, for lack of a better word, infused with the CBD product throughout the day. I'm probably getting a little bit like 30 milligrams a day.
Fantastic. And it really has helped you. So for our audience members out there, just so you know, we also have CBD in our Do Not Disturb tea as well. And we do find it has a lot of benefits. This is very exciting, Terry. We're so glad that you shared your story with us. We're going to take another break here, and then we'll be right back, and we're going to get right into our honesty moment. And we'll talk to Terry a little bit more too. Okay.
Do you want to bulletproof your immune system to fight viruses during cold and flu season? A cup of Be Well immunity can keep the doctor away and keep that immune system at optimal levels. There are 8 well-crafted, organic, hand-picked herbs that will do just that. Go to brownwomenwellness.com and get 15% off your next purchase using code WellHonest15.
All right, we're back. Keila had some questions.
Yeah. So Terry, since you've been in wellness and you experienced that situation a few years ago that got you to, really kind of going heavy into certain different directions, tell me, like, now, what are your practices like to make sure that you stay as balanced as possible within yourself?
Sure. Well, one of my practices is that I do spiritual exercises every day, and the focus on staying in balance. I do use the CBD product every day. I'm also aware of like what triggers the inflammation, because what the CBD does is reduce the inflammation in your body, and that's if you have any pain or any swollen areas in your body, that's inflammation. And so I found out that MSG is a trigger, stress are triggers. There's a couple of other certain dyes are triggers. So just artificial food. I intend to eat more holistic food, plant-based food, and just natural food. So and exercise. And so a lot of those kind of things are the kind of things that I like to practice every day. And I kind of eat at home a lot. Well, we're in a pandemic, so we're that's our reality anyway. But when I did have a chance to eat out at restaurants, I would have to ask a lot of questions about the food. And I need to talk to the chef because I knew it were certain things that would trigger that imbalance to occur again.
Oh my God, Terry, you're our kind of girl, because
Yeah, that's me all
that's
day.
us all day. I don't think the chefs like to see us coming because we want to know, what did you cook this in, and make sure it's healthy and cooking at home. And one of the things we want to stress, and you also talking our language, is that now that we're at home, we have to cook more, and so hopefully people are using more whole foods and not opening up packages and cans and all those kind of things, So. Okay.
So Terry, where can the people find you and your endeavors?
Sure. Yeah. So I have been learning about social media. I never really used a lot of social media in the past, other than just a little communication. But one of the things I'm working with the company now, they've been training us on how to be more successful on social media. So I do have a website. And my website is Miss Hemp Lady, and that's what I was leading to. That I have started to brand myself. So I call myself Miss Hemp Lady, and that's MS hemp, HEMPLADY.com. And on my website, you will find a lot of information about. We actually just launched a CBD detox tea, a CBD shampoo, and conditioner and detangler, because a lot of women, as we age, now even before aging, our stressors are either appear in our hair, our skin, or we're bloated. We have a bloated stomach, and I'm still working on that right now too.
You definitely hit some pain points there for our audience, because we talk a lot about these same things on our podcast, and so you definitely hit a pain point. So this is great, Terry. We really appreciate you sharing your story with us. We also going to ask you to share something else in a second. We're going to go to one of our last segments of our podcast, and it's our honesty moment. That's the moment where we're very honest about some of the things that took place in our life this week that we may want to share with the audience, because we know the struggle is real. We're not perfect people. So we want to share our struggles and with honesty. So Akila, I'm going to let you go first.
All right. So for my honesty moment this week, I have been struggling with work-life balance because I'm working on brown women wellness and making this be as big as possible and touching women. I also have a career. I have a 9 to 5, and I moved to a new state, new city. So trying to find that balance between all I do is work, because listen, Houston is wide open. Okay. And one thing I'm trying not to do is get Rona.
So they don't care about Rona in Houston?
They don't care about Rona. Okay. So I have to find that balance of, how much is too much work and not enough play. And then when I do decide to indulge and play safely, how can I go about doing that without shooting myself in the foot? So it's been an interesting journey this month and this week with that. But honestly speaking, I think I'm doing as best as I can, and I'm just flowing within the process and hoping that, it takes care of itself.
Okay. Well, I'm going to tell my honesty moment. I think Keela knows what that is, being my daughter. I had my stress goes to my back. So after moving and relocating Akila to Houston, Texas, coming back home and trying to catch up, I also run 3 businesses. And trying to, of course, and have family life and everything else, my stress got the best of me, and I didn't realize it, but it went right to my back, and it went into my sciatic nerve. So if anybody out here ever had sciatic nerve problems, Lord help us, okay? That is one pain that can really rip through you. So I had to stop, take a break, and figure out what was the trigger for that. And I did. And I had to get quiet. Go back and make sure I got back into my routines, my nighttime routine, my daytime routine, meditate. I had to pull out all my arsenal, you guys. I was doing essential oils. I was doing cannabis, you name it. I was doing it. And then finally, the pain got so bad. I'm not going to lie. And this is why this is called the honesty moment. I had to call the doctor. I had to call the doctor in because I couldn't take.
Not you.
I did,
Not you,
and
girl.
Everybody know that's my last resort. My last resort. And I called one of my friend doctors on the phone. I said, look, I need a pain prescription. He wrote me one, and, it did work. And 3 days later, it was gone. I still was doing all those other things like my essential oils. I even got into, I have a at-home sauna. It's a sauna blanket. I got into that. So a combination of things made it work, but this one was a doozy. It lasted longer than any I've ever had. I usually get them like once every 4 or 5 years. Sometimes I get little spasms if the stress gets too bad, but I know that it's stress related. I know that. So that made me pause, take a step back and say, hey, what do I need to do differently? Okay, Terry, it's your turn.
Mm-hmm. Sure. So I have to admit that my situation happened this morning, just participating in this opportunity right here. In the past, my anxiety has been so severe that I would lose control to the point that I felt sweaty and just a little nauseous and just lightheaded. And even today, in the past, I could never regain myself, but I still have anxiety, and I experienced it today before the show because all this is new to me, and just dealing with the unknown it feels nervous. I feel uncomfortable. But what I can say, because I am using the product line and essential oils, and I use some lavender, it's all about just gaining control and just self-talking yourself that you can do it. You can do it. And I'm just ready to level up. And, God willing, I got past that moment, and I'm ready. So that was my experience for today that I experienced.
Well, can I just say, Terry, if you had not shared that, I would have never known that you felt that way, because you sound amazing on here, and you came in and you articulated who you are and what you represent very, very well.
Yes, I agree. And I am so happy that you're here and shared your story with our listeners, because I'm sure it resonates with other people out there. We all have moments of anxiety. That's why this show was about stress and anxiety. We talked about that earlier, and hopefully our listeners will take some of these tips to heart. You guys go and visit Terry on her website, MissHempLady.com, and look at her products, because, we promote our Brown Babes websites, their businesses. We promote that heavily. So again, thank you. And we're going to wrap this up. We're going to wrap this segment up. And thank you again.
Thank you, Terry.
Thank you, both of you ladies, for this opportunity.
You're welcome.
Thank you for listening to Well Honestly, the podcast. If you want to know more about us and our products, check us out over on our website at brownwomenwellness.com. And remember, ladies, we are not doctors, and any information shared by us is not medical advice. always follow your doctor's advice.
And don't forget to rate and review our podcast and let us know what you loved about this week's episode. And please subscribe to wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Feel free to email us and let us know what you would like to hear more of from us. Don't be afraid to say hi. We'll say hi right back to you.
Don't forget to find us across all social platforms at Brown Women Wellness. As always, show notes with the links to what we talked about today in this week's episode will be in the description box below. Thanks for listening.